Students, today we will learn this lesson, that is our first lesson. Uh, the name of the lesson is the last lesson. This chapter, the last lesson, is written by Alphonse Daudet. So he is a French novelist. We can see descriptions given about him. He was a French novelist and short story writer. In his career, he had he had also adopted journalism after leaving teaching. Okay, so initially he was a teacher, but he left teaching and took journalism as his career. So, what is there in this lesson? This lesson describes the situation in a region of France that is named here Alsace and Lorraine. This region, Alsace and Lorraine, was occupied by Germany. Why Germany occupied this region? Because a Franco-Prussian war was going on. This Franco-Prussian war went between 1870 to 1871, and these two parts of France were occupied by Germany. And what happened after that in those two towns? So, how this affected schools there and also other things, but mainly what has been described in this chapter is effect of this occupation by Germany, this occupation of these two towns by Germany, how this occupation affected life at school. So, start the story. This story is narrated by a little boy, French. This boy is a very lazy boy, very dull boy. He not interested in studies. So he was not having any interest at his studies, but he was good at playing and other things. So, what happens in the story, I will summarize you first. The name of the teacher is Mr. M. Hamel, and as the boy reaches the school, he found the atmosphere of the school something different from the usual one. Usually, a kind of noise, a kind of commotion could be heard coming from the school, but that day was not like a usual day. Actually, what had happened? A news had arrived from the Berlin because of the German occupation of the city. A rule was announced that morning. Only German will be taught in schools, and French will not be taught in schools. So the teacher, Mr. M. Hamel, will have to leave the school, and a new teacher will join the school from the next day. So atmosphere is very grim, and the boy even found the village old man sitting on the last benches of the class. Why were those old men, old villagers present there? To get the last lesson given by Mr. M. Hamel. So all were uh, feeling themselves guilty of not learning their language, French language. Even this boy feel very sorry of not taking so much interest earlier when there was plenty of time to learn. He was not taking interest, he didn't take any interest in learning, and now the time has lasted. He will have to give up his French lessons. So all the atmospheres in the school premises is very grim, very sorrowful, and Mr. Hamel, the teacher, specifies them, clarifies them the importance of the French language, that was their own language. Learning one's own language, how much importance does it take for any individual in life? This was described by Mr. Hamel in the classroom. So we will start. Now we should start the lesson, and we will be exploring all these things throughout the lessons. So start. I started for my school very late that morning and was in great dread of a scolding. So the boy, French, was late at school that day. He started for his school very late that day, and he was fearful of being scolded by his teacher, Mr. M. Hamel. What was the reason? Because you see the second line. 1 minute. Let me, if there is marker. So here there is no marker. Okay. So you see in the second line it is given the reason because because M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participles, and I did not know the first word about them. A task was given, a homework was given the previous day to learn participles. And this boy, French, had not learned anything. He even didn't know even a single word about participles. So he was dreadful of a scolding. For a moment, see the next line. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright, the birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. It was all much more tempting than the rule for participles, but I had the strength to resist, and I hurried off to school. So, a new thinking arrived in his mind, came in his mind, to keep himself away from the school, because the atmosphere outside was very attracting, very tempting. So he describes the situations or the atmospheres outside. He describes that outside there was warm and bright daylight, and birds were chirping. Means chirping here means bird sounds. Okay. So all these things were attracting the boy, tempting the boy. Here the word has been used tempting. So you should know the meaning of the word. Tempting means attracting. Attracting the boy. There was one more thing going on there. In the open field, and where was the open field? In the back of the sawmill. What is sawmill? Where wood is cut, okay, into pieces, that is sawmill. So what was going on there? In the open field, Prussian soldiers were drilling. Drilling means they were exercising, they were marching. So all these things were attracting the boy much, and he thought for a moment, he thought of not going to school, not attending the school. But he writes, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. So all these things were attracting the boy, but he says he had the strength to resist all these attraction or the temptation. So he could resist the temptation coming inside his heart, and after resisting his temptation, he quickly set off to the school. When I passed the town, you see the second paragraph. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. So, when he passed the town hall, so on the way to the school, a town hall, there was a town hall, and when he was passing by the town hall, he saw a huge crowd present there. And why was the crowd present there? And what was the importance of that town hall, that place? There was a bulletin board there, and that bulletin board was used for sending message to public about the latest news on coming from the German side, or after the occupation of their cities by the German. So any bad news is circulated only through that bulletin board. So here it is written, you see the line, for the last 2 years all our bad news had come from there. That means all types of bad news after German occupation of the cities, all types of bad news had been circulated only through that bulletin board. So what type of bad news? Here some examples is given. The lost battles, the draft, the order of the commanding officer. And I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? So when the boy saw a huge crowd present there, he in himself started thinking, what could be the possible reason? Okay. So what can be the matter now? So without stopping, he started thinking this in his mind. Then you see the next paragraph. Then as I hurried by, as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin called after me, don't go so fast, Bob. You will get plenty of, you will get to your school in plenty of time. So the boy was in a hurry. The boy was already late. So hurriedly he started passing by the area, passing by the town hall, and moving towards his school. At that time, the blacksmith was the watcher present there, and he called that boy and said, don't go so fast. You have plenty of time to reach to your school. Now we will understand this. Why the watcher, the blacksmith, said him, "Don't go so fast, you have plenty of time." Actually, this watcher was explaining him the situations, but not in a clear words. The situation now is that the situation now was that all these schools, all these usual schools will be closed shortly because only German will be taught in the schools. We will later come through this fact. Okay, so actually, he was informing him about this latest development, but the boy, unaware of all these things, was not able to understand what the blacksmith told him. So you see the next line. I thought he was making fun of me and reached M. Hamel's little garden all out of breath. So boy was not able to understand the words of blacksmith. So he thought he took it as a fun, just as a fun, and reached to his school. See the next line. Usually, when school began, there was a great bustle, which could be heard out in the street. The opening and closing of desks, lessons repeated in unison, very loud with our hands over our ears to understand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. So here in this paragraph, we will move one by one, reading one by one all the sentences one by one. We will read one by one. So see, usually when school began, there was a great bustle. What is great bustle? Noise, a noise of crowd, a noise because of some crowd, something going on in the classroom. So usually what happened at the beginning of the school, benches were moved, desks were moved, students tried to sit their places, occupy their places. So in doing all these things, a kind of noise is created. Okay, that also happens in our school. So that he is here called bustle, a great bustle, and these noises could be heard out in the street. Okay, so move to the next lines, and here unison. What is the meaning of unison? Lessons repeated in unisons. When boys recited the lessons, said the lessons loud in unison. In unison means all the boys say the same thing together, then it is in unison. Move to the next line. And the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. This was another kind of noise among those noise. What is here the meaning of ruler rapping on the table? Rapping means a striking. Teacher's ruler striking on the table. Great ruler. Here great ruler means the big in size ruler. Okay, but now it was also still. So that those situations or those noises were of the usual days. But today, all these things were not present there in the school atmosphere. Or everywhere there was silence, and it was also still. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. Actually, boy has friends had already planned a thing. He had thought that taking advantage of noises, usual noises, he would go to his seat and occupy his seat without being seen by anyone. So here counted on the commotion. I had counted on the commotion. Here what is the meaning of counted on? To take advantage of, to depend on. Commotion means noise, confusing environment. But that could not happen because there was everywhere a silence prevailed. There was a silence prevailed everywhere. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. So everything was quiet. And how quiet? As quiet as Sunday morning. See, usually in the Sunday morning, on the Sundays, there is no studies. School is closed, and there is silence in the school premises. It is usual thing. So, like the Shimbir, it seemed to him that the silence in the school premises seemed to him that tried to make him feel that today is not a learning day, but today is Sunday. Through the window, see the next line. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places and M. Hamel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. Through the window, Subway is still outside. He has not entered into the classroom because he had planned something else and he found something else here. The atmosphere was totally different. There was no noise, no commotion. So he could not take advantage of those noise and could not enter into the classroom. So he was still outside and peeping through the windows. He saw his classmates. They are already present there, and his teacher M. Hamel was walking up and down, and his iron ruler was under his arm. Slowly he opened the door. I had to open the door. See the next line. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. So he opened the door and went inside before everybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. So, going before everybody and being late was a matter of blush. So, he was blushed. Blushed means when your face become red in color because of shame. That is blushed. And how frightened he was, how fearful he was. What fear was? What was the fear about? He was fearful of being scolded by his teacher. But nothing happened. See the next paragraph. But nothing happened. M. Hamel saw me and said very kindly, go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you. But nothing happened as was being expected by Franz. What was he expecting? He was expecting a scold from his teacher, but he didn't do anything like that. M. Hamel just saw him and politely said him to take shit. I jumped over the bench. See the next para. I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful my teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on inspection and prize days. So let us see again this para. I jumped over the benches, sat down at my desk. So he went inside and quickly occupied his seat. Okay. And not till then, when I had got a little over my fright. So going inside, he took few seconds, few minutes to overcome his fear, to be comfortable, and not till then he noticed anything. And after that, what he noticed? Did I see that? Did, here use of did is only to just emphasize, okay, the things. Did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat? So here what the teacher was wearing that day has been described. And this dress of teacher was not usual one. He wore this dress only on the inspection days or on the prize days. So what was special about this day? There was no inspection day as he could know, and as it was in his knowledge there was no prize day. Then why did this man wear this occasional dress, that is called a Sunday's dress? What was the matter? What was the strange thing here? See the next line. Besides, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn. So whole the school atmosphere, whole the all the school premises, all thing was so strange. Everything was strange there. But the thing that surprised me most was solemn. Solemn means, this word is meaning of this word solemn is serious. Okay, so atmosphere was very serious. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. So there was one more unusual thing that he found there, that he saw there. Old village persons were sitting on the last benches as they are students of this school. Old Hausher with his three-cornered hat, see the line? Old Hausher with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, and several others besides. So who were present in the classroom? Who from the village were present in the classroom? It is given here. Hausher, postmaster, several others besides. Everybody looked sad, and Hausher had brought an old primer thumbed at the edges, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacle laying across the pages. So everybody looked sad. Why were they sad? And there was one thing about Hausher. He had kept open a primer. What is primer? Primer, a book that gives a very basic understanding, grammatical understanding of a language. And that primer, he had kept open that primer on his knees. And that primer, that book was thumbed at the edges. What is thumbed at the edges? Thumbed at the edges means torn and damaged at the edges. See the next paragraph. While I was wondering about it all, M. Hamel mounted his chair and in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me said. So the boy was wondering about all the things going on there. Meanwhile, the teacher M. Hamel occupied his chair and started saying in the same grave and gentle tone. What is grave? Serious. Serious but polite. Grave and gentle tone means serious, sad but polite tone, which he had used to me a few minutes earlier. Mr. Hamel had uh, said to the boy very politely, ordered the boy very politely to take his seat. In the same grave and gentle tone, he started addressing the class. My children, see the lines. My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. So, what was the matter? The matter was that this was his last lesson in that school. Why was that last lesson in his last lesson in that school? Because an order had arrived from Berlin to teach German in the schools of those two cities, Alsace and Lorraine. So he will have to leave the place, leave the school. He would leave the school and a new teacher would arrive next day. So he said, this is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive. So this was the reason all old village men were present there to get something out of this teacher. So Teacher M. Hamel requested all the students and also village persons to be very attentive because this was the last lesson going to be taken by him. What a thunderclap these words were to me. Thunderclap means startling, unexpected things, shocking, and those words of his teacher shocked the boy. What happened? How it could be? Oh, the riches, that was what they had put up at the town hall. Here, riches means unfortunate things. And now the boy was able to understand what was the news put up on the bulletin board there near the town hall. That was what they had put up at the town hall. What was? The news that German will be taught in all these schools. Now the boy started thinking of his mistakes that he had done earlier. Mistakes of not giving proper attention or learning his language, not attending his classes regularly. And he is now lamenting over all these things, feeling sorry over all these things. So, see the next paragraph. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there. Then, oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lesson, for seeking breeze, birds' eggs, or going sliding on the shore. So, as he started thinking of his last lesson, why I hardly knew, he asked questions to himself. Why? Why I hardly knew how to write? He should know how to write, but he didn't know. Why? Why he didn't know? He asked to himself. I should never learn anymore. He should learn now. He should learn the things. He should learn the French, but he never learned the things. So he asked to himself, I should never learn anymore. I must stop there then. What were the things to us to be stopped by the boy then? Then means in those time of learning. The things he was busy at playing, not learning. He should have stopped all those things there then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking bird's eggs. So he is feeling sorry for not learning his lessons, for seeking bird's eggs. So, in the place of learning his lessons, he went on searching, finding birds' eggs, hunting birds' eggs, or going sliding on the Shar River. Shar is the name of the river. On the banks of that river, he went on to play. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry, my grammar and my history of the sands were old friends now that I couldn't give up. Now the boy looked onto his books. Those books which earlier looked heavy to him, a burden to him, now all those books started appearing to him as his old friends, and as such old friends that he was not ready to give them up. See the next lines. And M. Hamel too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. And he not only changed his thought about learning, his thought about learning got changed. He was lamenting over the things, he was feeling over the things. Why did he not learn, take interest in learning? Besides this, he also changed his views, his thought about his teacher M. Hamel. Earlier, what was his views about teacher M. Hamel? He thought this man M. Hamel as a cranky. Cranky means short tempered. But as now he came to this fact that he is not going to see the man again, the views about that man got changed. And he forgot all the things, all the punishment given by him, and started feeling sorry for him. Here, cranky, short tempered. Okay, move to the next paragraph. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes, and now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. Now the boy understood all the things in a very right way. It see the next line. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. So now he was able to understand why his teacher had owned those Sunday's clothes and why were those village men present in the classroom. Those village men were present in the classroom because they had not attended or they had not learnt their language, French language, in their childhood. So it was a way of giving respect to their language, French language, giving respect to this teacher M. Hamel who had served there for 40 years. And they were also present there for showing a respect for their country, which was no more theirs because that was occupied by Prussians. Okay. While see the next paragraph. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. Let me see once. This is 41 minutes. Okay. So students, we will. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. So his mind was busy thinking all about these things, and at a sudden he heard his name being called. It was his turn to recite. Recite means to repeat something, to read something loud. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake? So the boy, the French, was thinking. Now he was anxious. Now he was desperate of learning the French. Now he wanted to learn the French. So when his turn arrived, when his turn came, he wanted to show everything that was present in his heart. He wanted to say everything, recite everything that he knew from the core of his heart. But he started thinking whether he would be able to recite without any mistake, whether he would be able to say the rules without any mistake and very loud and clear. He wanted to do that because he was feeling sorry for not learning those things in good times. When he started, what happened, you see? But I got mixed up on the first words and stood there, holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. But when he started reciting the things, reciting the rules of participles, he got mixed up on the first words. In the very starting itself, he was confused. Here, got mixed up means got confused and stood there just holding on to desk, and he was not daring to look up. Okay, so we will finish our today's class here, and then in the next class we will move on to rest paragraphs. Okay.